We're back. Okay. All right, we just still have a few people joining, so let's give it a moment. Hopefully everyone, if you need anything, got it. Got it, Corey. Hopefully everyone has a water and we can stay hydrated together. And pen and paper, we definitely need that. Anything else you might need, magical things. I like having magical things around for these calls, the stones and pendulum and cards and such. So anything you feel you may need. I know, hopefully in the comments we have some Mercury retrograde talk going on already. So hopefully, yes, we will get through this tech experience. All right, well, I think we're here. So let's get started. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I love, love, love doing this call, or, it changes with some version of this call every year because it takes off all the pressure I remember that I used to feel as the new year was approaching, the new year of wanting to sit down and put pen to paper and reflect and figure out my theme. And I used to put this pressure on myself to do that. I don't know if anybody relates, let me know. And then we started doing this together, and it's like, oh my gosh, we just sit down for an hour, hour and a half, wham bam, it's done, and you feel so good and proud of yourself, and there was no stress around it or procrastinating or feeling behind, seeing, a lot of those posts are going up of here's my reflections in my New Year's, and I'm like, oh shit, I still haven't done that, and now if I waited too long, and oh, it's fucked up the whole year, whatever starts going through our brains around it. And so I just love it. So no matter where you are, if you've already done it, maybe you'll go a little bit deeper today. If you haven't done it yet, we get to all feel really proud of ourselves after. And why it's so important to do this New Year work is that it really sets us up for success moving forward. When we reflect on our experiences, and more importantly, the lessons from those experiences, it helps us embody them more. And so that we can move on to the next lessons, because you know how life just keeps giving you the same lessons over and over until you get them. So this helps us solidify those in our body, in our brain, in our heart, in our mind, so that we can keep moving to, yay, more opportunities to grow, more lessons. But that's how life works. We're here for this. So the reflection bit is really, to me, I feel important to be able to reflect, and then also that to release a bit and really embrace the energy that's available to us in this fresh start of what do I not want to take with me, and what do I want to take with me. And rather than focusing on setting these major goals for ourselves for the year, which I actually do love goal setting, and that could be another call, or if you're going to the intuitive coaching circle, we'll be working a lot around our goals. But more of our energetic intentions for the year, which is so much more grounding, and you can't really fuck those up. Like, we all have set these goals and missed. We miss goals all the time, and that's fine. Keep setting them. But the energetic intentions, you don't get to fuck up. Why am I using so many grown up words? Just kind of sassy today, I guess. But you don't mess up the energetic intentions. You get opportunities every day to be in them and to align your life with them. And it's very grounding to be intentional. And not that whatever themes we set for ourselves are going to be the only themes we're going to experience. We'll talk more about that. We'll choose themes for ourselves, and then themes are going to choose us and show up in our lives. We're so lucky. But yeah, hopefully we'll all have good humor about those themes and embrace them as they come instead of resisting and then they'll be more meaningful in our lives. But yeah, so setting energetic intentions, reflecting, releasing, that will sort of be our agenda for today. And it's such a perfect time to do this call. I'm so glad we didn't do it on the first, because now we're really moving into that full moon energy. And so the first full moon of the year is rising, and she is in Cancer, which is the most emotionally watery sign, and feeling it, feeling her, and I know I'm not alone. So we have the energy of the full moon already encouraging us to reflect, release, to welcome clarity. And then the Cancer energy, which is the super most sentimental of the signs, about reflection. I dog-eared a page in the book, which I have my new Moonology diary for 2023. I've been using, this is my third year using this, and I love it, by Yasmin Bolin, if anyone's looking for something like that. Yeah, Cancer is a sign that reminisces and feels nostalgic. So take a fond backwards glance at whatever you're leaving behind. And also the full moon is activating Pluto, which is all about eruptions and detoxing. So that, along with the emotion, is, well, interesting recipe for the feels. And some forgiveness work is encouraged around the full moon too. Forgive, move on, make peace, and all the other things we do. So I'm excited that we get to be full moony together. And also Mercury's in retrograde. So yeah, that's always a fun time. I actually like Mercury in retrograde. It's, some people it affects more than others, and it affects me. But I mean, this is what I do for a living. I love being introspective and reflective and, rolling with the punches and working on responding instead of reacting at all. This is like what my life is built around. So I'm kind of like made for Mercury in retrograde, I always think. And I love the learning that I do in that time. All right. Well, enough about me. This is about you. You're here for yourself. And can we just like applaud you for that? That's amazing. So already off to a great start tonight. Showed up for yourself. Let's all be proud of ourselves for that. It's a big deal. And let's get grounded so that we can move into some reflection from that grounded space. Oh, I was catching up in the chat. I just love you all so much. All right, let's untangle our arms and legs. Bring in some intuitive movement and some stretching. As you breathe through any tightness, contract or expand as you're guided to. As you use your movement to connect with your body, get present in the here and now. Go ahead and drop your shoulders and pull them back, visioning your wings touching behind you. And as you do, notice how your heart space opens a little more. Let's center into that energy in the center of our chest. Feel that flowing energy within and flowing out as well. You can tap into a little gratitude right now that will help that energy expand even more. Go ahead and listing a few things that you're grateful for. Each thing that you're grateful for, feel that expansion and opening a little more. Allow your face to tilt upward and the moon shining warmth, the sun shining warmth. However you want to connect with energetically, shining on your face. You allow the gratitude feelings to get even bigger. Thanking yourself for being here. Thanking this body, showing her some love and compassion in this moment. Thanking our big, beautiful brains. And this big, beautiful earth. As you press down with the soles of your feet, grounding into her energy, anchoring to the present moment. Feel that gravitational pull holding you here, that earth, instinctual energy coming up through the soles of your feet. Feel the warmth growing and growing, filling your aura in a protective light. Calling in the energy and the light from the heavens, from spirit, through your crown, your third eye, even breathing it into your mouth, allowing it to fill your body, filling you with lightness and breath, protection, unconditional, infinite, endless love. We call upon our spiritual teams to be present with us, to support us in the work we are showing up for ourselves to do today. You may want to call on loved ones past or angels, animals, mystical creatures, masters or ancestors. Call anyone in that you would love to collaborate with and be supported by today. Notice how spaciously they hold you and support you, how you can still breathe, how you're still grounded and still so light, still centered in your heart space, even as all these beautiful souls of your spiritual team, these amazing beings of light, show up for you today. They hold you spaciously. They believe in you fully. They celebrate you, saying yes to you in this moment. And all the yeses you're going to say to yourself from here on out. They support you in your boundaries, in your intentions, in your release, and your forgiveness. You are here, grounded and protected, heart-centered, with gratitude and love flowing through you, safe and protected with your team all around you. May what comes up and through be in the best and highest good. May it be aligned with your heart of hearts, with your deepest desires. May your heart lead the way, and may your brain get on board to power and fuel any aligned action that you intuit for yourself. Let's take a breath in together and a big breath out. We open this space and come back together, letting your eyes open, grabbing a sip of water, whatever you're sipping on. How is everyone feeling? Let us know in the chat. I already feel like, I don't know, maybe like 58% more healed than I was 15 minutes ago. So, yay. I love how healing the space is and how we get out so much more than we expect. Nice. Oh, Nicole, hey, I'm so happy you're here. Relaxed and grounded. The pop in my neck. And I roll my head is gone. Oh, you must have been doing some good intuitive movement and unwinding. Good job. All right. Emotional. Yeah. Emily, hello. Some of y'all have shown up that I didn't maybe greet at the beginning, and I hope I've said hello to everyone. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy everyone's here. All right, let's start with the pen to paper bit, because this is the emotionally charged part with our reflections. And I don't want us to bypass our feels and our emotions and our reflections, or just be here, reframing as we write them down. A lot of us have done mindset work together, and we know about reframes, and but we've also talked about not bypassing our feelings and leaning into them. So let's take with us this energy that we're feeling, this being grounded and protected, as we reflect on our 2022. So get out your paper. I'm going to be talking for a little bit. You can start, you can wait. I always suggest a bulleted list. It's just easier to go back and reflect on. Also, I have ADHD, everyone knows that, and that's just easier for me to look at later and to get out. I'm not trying to make sentences or anything. Last year, we did kind of a wheel of life for our year. The one before that, we went through each month, like, okay, see myself back in January. We walked through each month. This year, I'm going to, so you can either do it one of those ways if that feels good. What I was thinking, we would feel into the categories if you want to just jot them down. And if I ever stop talking and take a breath, I can type them into the chat. But I'll just go through them really quick. I have emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, home, career, financial, education, yes, and then social, meaning community, friends, family, like bigger family, so social, community, friends, family, and then inner social, which would be partner or more immediate family that's maybe in your home. So social, community, friends, family, and then a inner social, a partner, that tight circle around you. Okay, so those are kind of the categories that if you would able to put something, girl, Krista typed it in the chat. That was amazing. Thank you. I love collaborating. You just gave me something I didn't know I needed, and it was incredible. I didn't know that even existed as a possibility. Thank you. Okay, so the categories are, yes, the categories are in the chat. Thank you to Krista. And so just to help keep you, just if you're like, okay, to give you that to ground into, to go back and be like, okay, what has the last year been in these areas? I like to start by going back though to this call or the beginning of January in some way of 2022 and remembering if you set a theme, a goal, an intention for yourself, what was that? And just like maybe that wasn't the theme that you worked with all year, that's okay. Um, but do you recall what your original intention was that you chose to work with? And then from there, either going through the year, as I said, we've done in the past, or going through each of these categories and just bulleting the lessons, the mistakes, the crisis, the pains, the aches, the falls. All of those are opportunities to learn, to grow, our triggers. But if we don't really take a real look, if we only focus on the accomplishments and the celebrations, we're going to be bypassing the biggest of our lessons. So the heartaches, the grief, um, we've all lost something. It may have been loved ones, which I experience, or loss of what you thought the year would be like, as in you look back at your intention and your big plans you had for the year. Maybe there's grief around what you thought would be or who you thought you would be this past year. Um, Things you participated in, maybe some things with me or with other people here, experiences, celebrations, goals that you set over the year, the ones you missed, also goals that you set and made, breakups and makeups, projections and redirections, injury, illness, friendships, new, old, ones we've let go of, money saved, earned, spent, shared, just some ideas, books you read, places you visited. We'll take a few minutes and do this. If you get stuck, just go back to the list that Krista put in the chat for us to check in with those areas. Or going through the year month to month in your mind. Sometimes holidays help me with that, being what holiday was there, what was I doing around that time. So those just joining us, we are writing out our reflections of our 2022 right now. All the wins and mistakes and experiences. Krista put in the chat the categories that you can check in with to help you reflect on your year. Everyone's writing, so we'll keep going for a few minutes. Right, we'll finish up. Anything more you can think about? Was there any books that you read? Um, any experiences you had with your family? What about things that you started, worked on, or completed? What about your boundaries? How did you honor your energy? Oh, I saw some pride for boundaries out there, right? Yes, you. um, great. Over the next couple days, we'll still be in this Cancer full moon of sentimental and reflection and this energy that we're opening the door for now. So feel free to, continue adding to this. And, um, when you get to things that were hard or hurt, to honor that emotion and give yourself a little hug. Show yourself some compassion. And this is just this opportunity. No one needs to see this for you to be really real with yourself. Own, recognize, name the mistakes and those things you're proud of yourself for. If there's nothing you put that you were proud of yourself for on the list, let's add a couple now. What are you proud of yourself for over this year? Maybe there was one time that you responded instead of reacted. maybe just even one time. Like, was there? Um, let's be proud of that. You did an act of kindness. And then let's add, we started with the theme that you chose. Let's make a little 2022 themes section. And not only the themes that you chose, but what themes chose you and showed up in your life that you would say, when I look back at 2022, the main themes were, and then just list, a few. I started the year with connection. I actually kept that theme throughout. But then themes that chose me again, boundaries came up big, collaboration came up big for me this year. Loss, grief, heartache were huge for me. Physical pain, emotional pain. All of these I would call actual themes of my year. So, what are your kind of big themes? Outline that. And a nice reflection point is looking back at this year in review and at these themes and being like, wow, there was some heaviness around me, and I'm here right now. I didn't give up. So more to be proud of yourself for, recognize choices that you made, taking care of yourself. Is there any what were the biggest lessons that you want to highlight? You might look back at your year in review to find those and say, okay, this happened, this was huge. What is the lesson that I want to take from that into 2023? So, what are the lessons we want to take with us from what we learned? What were the big lessons that we see from glancing over the themes and the reflection? So, this might be like a couple sentences that we want to highlight and star. Do you want to highlight any spirit connections you had this year? Anyone in spirit you connected with or collaborated with? Any messages or signs that you received over the past year? Let's definitely feel gratitude as we write these ones down, to be winking at our team to say more of this, please. And is there anything that you want to note that you learned about another, whether it be the collective or a partner, a family member? Is there anything big that you want to note that you learned about someone else over this past year? Whether it be something that you would label as positive or negative. How is everyone feeling after this reflection? This could be a bit heavy. I'm feeling like I was feeling like, oh, I'm healed, 58%, I'm lighter. And now I'm back mouth breathing. I feel some heaviness. I'm feeling a bit emotional again. It's like, oh, wow. Like, what? All that was in 1 year? Fuck. That was what a year. There was so much heaviness. And then also so much to like celebrate and that I feel good about myself for. Um, yeah, last year was a lot. Yeah, uncomfortable. Yeah, I feel a bit uncomfortable. That's right. Proud of myself. Yeah, being uncomfortable is not a bad thing, which I still work with that because one of my one of my top 5 values is the comfort, being comfort. Like I want like the right temperature, I want the right clothing and shoot. Like I like live life to be comfortable, and then I do this work that the magic is a lot of times outside that comfort zone. So walking that line, but yeah, I feel that. Yes, I could spend a whole month of reflection and not remember it all. Yes. And so more will be coming up as well because we have the ball rolling. And also, I think it helps having these kind of categories. So if you want to double check and go back through, because another thing you can do on your own later, or if right now you already know, is you can look at those categories again: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, home, um, education and career, financial, social, as in community, friends and family, or your inner social network. And are there any of those categories that might feel like they were a bit neglected in the year and that could use more attention moving forward? So that might be something you want to highlight, because what all those categories are, they're the self-care categories for those of you who are just in the LWN. I use the self-care categories for this year. So yeah, is there anything that maybe could use a little nourishment moving forward? Or any areas that you look at out of those and are like, wow, like I really crushed it in this area, or I was really gentle with myself in this area. That's kind of cool to reflect on. Take a note if anything's coming up. And noticing if there were areas that maybe didn't get enough attention or your energy, that isn't to feel bad about yourself or that you failed. It's just to be honest with yourself and say, to help you prioritize a little more if needed moving forward. And if there is anything that's making you feel bad or sad, I want to honor that and just again encourage you to see yourself in that as you were in that. And now you're just reflecting on the pain. You're not in that today, that is of the past. And so show that past you some love and compassion, show you the you today that is reflecting and have feelings coming out, love and compassion. We show ourselves some grace. And then here is kind of the biggie. What am I ready to release? And I would encourage you, this isn't going to be another list. We're not spending 10 minutes. This is like 1 to 3 things. Because if you right now start rattling off all these things you're ready to release, I'm ready to release control and boundaries and this relationship, and it goes on, you're going to take away power and meaning from these intentions. But if you can say like 1 to 3 things or just a short list of what you're ready to release, what you're ready to release in order to create space in this 2023, it's going to be more powerful under this full moon, this new year practice, to be really intentional on what are like the number one or the top 3 things. And now for these 3 things, you can either write them on a piece of paper, a separate piece of paper, rip off that you're going to tear up, flush, burn, bury, or I read something today that was kind of cool, especially with the Cancer full moon, which Cancer's water, would be whispering the things that you want to release into a glass of water and then pouring it out. And you could even pour it, into a plant or something, letting that be transmuted, that release into something healing and nurturing. Whatever feels good for you for that. It could be something that you just toss energetically in your mind's eye into a fire or into an actual fire. It could be just something you just speak out your intention. I release this. And I will encourage you to do some kind of a ritual practice. For me, I like to speak my release to the full moon. And so I go outside, I'm like, this is what I release. I put my hands up, I let it go, and I touch the ground, put it in the earth, put it in the sky, just get it out of my body and say it out loud. So that's one of my practices. But I really like this idea with the water. If anyone else has something that they're thinking about doing for their release, that's going to be your soul work, your homework, is to be really intentional in doing something maybe physical to honor this release. And so it's not just today and it gets lost within this call of, oh, I was releasing that. But after this call, whether it be today or in the next couple of days, under this full moon energy, taking that a step further. And again, just having a moment to focus on it. Does that feel good to everybody? And then it also gives you a little time if you're not quite sure what would best serve you yet in your release, to get more clear on that. All right. I do have messages for you and fun things coming up, but first, yeah, we're going to actually take a break. Okay, we're going to take a break and go to some messages, because the next part will be, what am I ready to call in? But I feel like we could all use like a little, wiggle jiggle and a break from the deepness of this. You just declare what you're ready to release. Let's drink some water. If you want to stand up or stretch, move anything, shake it out. And then we'll come back to that in a few. All right, so this is kind of fun, what Spirit guided me to share with you today. And this isn't, I did pull cards, so this isn't the collective reading yet. This is the reading that they've already been giving you. And last year, for those of you that were on this call, we did a little guided visualization, and we asked Spirit to show us colors, sounds, smells, animals, and these things that kind of like put together for us our own oracle card for the year. Do you remember doing that? Yeah. And so that was like really fun and beautiful. I think we all got a lot out of that experience. And so I was going to do that again. And Spirit was like, we've already been showing them. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then they're like how you only wear this shade of green now. It's on your fingers. It's like showed up in these earrings you just got gifted. You wear this shirt every day, like, or a sweater, like you're only in this, everything you notice is in this color. The Sharpie, you just, and it's like, oh, I have to say it's not random, but I'm like, oh my God, there's that color again. Like just like that, this has been happening to everybody who's coming. And so Spirit said that they've already been giving us our specific handmade oracle card for the year, and that they're going to help us remember the signs and messages that they've been sending us and what we have recently been drawn to or noticing or showing up, because they said they already gave it to each of you and to me too. And so I stopped myself at the green because I was like, okay, so that we could do it together. But so we're going to tap in. Well, we're all shook out. Tap into our grounded, protected heart space energy. And we're going to use, Spirit said this, you get to use your mind for this, because all spirit work is not just silence the mind, get in your heart. Like it's this sweet spot. Like you get to use your brain and your heart to figure it out. So you get to use your big, beautiful brain for this exercise. Spirit told me that they have already been showing you what you need to know for the year. The lessons and the signs that have been showing up really recently at the end of 2022 and still now are very significant. And if you want to jot down just like quickly as you go, or you can feel into it and then jot down at the end. They said that you have been drawn to a color recently. And so jot down the color that you've most been drawn to. Maybe it's a color shirt you've been wearing, or pen you've been using, or the color wrapping paper you had to use for everyone, or tissue paper with gifts. Like something they have been showing you a color. It's been showing up. They've also been showing you an animal. And I just heard likely more than one, and any of these can be more than one. So just like an oracle card, it's not just one color. There could be several colors that are standing out, and several animals. Also, is there a smell that you've been drawn to? Maybe it's a new body lotion that you bought, or a candle you've been using. Maybe it's a smell that you had that recently jogged a memory for you. Can you think of a smell that you have noticed recently? I feel like some of these could be funny too. Like we put like farts, because like my daughter literally throws her farts in my face. So I'm gonna put it. I am putting farts. How about what number have you been noticing? And if you aren't aware of yourself noticing one more now, you can start to pay attention, or you can close your eyes and say, has to be shown the number that they've been trying to get through to you. For me, 2023 already is a number. How many times have you seen that? So for sure, they've been showing you that. 2023 breaks down to a 7. So all of us have been receiving that one. All right. Is there a sound that has recently stood out to you, or maybe a song that's been popping up in your mind, or that you played on repeat 75,000 times. Like I like to do with songs. Just feel them. Have you been listening? Or maybe it's a genre of music, or maybe something like bells or clinging, jingles, drumming, howling, barking, meowing. What sounds have been around you? And then what element do you feel most connected to currently? And I'll just say them, and maybe you'll be like, "Oh, I feel connected to that," or maybe it's been showing up and already appearing as you think about this in your big beautiful brain. Water. I mean, that's been come up a couple times just here on this call. Fire, earth, air, ether, spirit, space, storm, or maybe some sort of, weather phenomenon. Maybe it's been raining and foggy, snowy, sunny. What elements have you been exposed to? The spirit said that they've been trying to make these things very clear to us. So, and, oh, mine are like water, foggy, rain. Like, oh, that's water, isn't it? That's water. All this stuff going on with my cold, that's water. I'm like, oh, there's so much water, which is what that's aligned with what's happening astrologically. So I like that. Okay. Has there been anything else that you've been recently drawn to or noticing that you want to note? A symbol, a phrase, a word, a person? Um, and then has there been something like kind of persistent in your mind of saying, like, I shouldn't be or I should be, kind of doing or not doing, this mental pressure, um, or a persistent idea of something you should be moving into or should be letting go of? Something like that been popping up in your thoughts often. So a persistent guidance or fear. Is there what is the biggest fear that you have right now? The biggest fear or doubt that's holding you back? Put that on our card too. Is there a courageous step that you've intuited or thought of several times that maybe you've pushed down or doubted or said, no, not now? Is there some kind of action being asked of you? Whether or not you want to listen is a whole different story, but maybe just noting that nudge. Oh, courageous step. And now let's kind of put it together in our mind's eye into an oracle card with ourselves on it, our 2023 self, in like your finest, most comfortable, of course, outfit. And however you feel most confident um, in your stance, in your appearance, in your energy, like seeing yourself on this card with these colors and elements and numbers represented, these animals and sounds. Like this is a living, breathing, right, oracle card with the words or phases, even the fears represented on them. How do you see yourself standing? Are you holding something in your hand or hand? Maybe there's light in your hands. Are they faced outward? Are they faced inward toward you? How do you appear on this card? What are you wearing? What do you notice about yourself? What props do you have? What energy do you see in yourself? Are there any, you look, you're visualizing this card in your mind's eye and you on it, and what is showing up and represented of both release and encourage direction to move to all these other things. Is there someone you would like represented on this card from spirit to support and collaborate with you on this? And they could be represented through an animal. It could be just them, if they were a human being or are a human being. It could be living in spirit, or maybe it's someone who's here in this world that you feel would be supportive and a great collaborator. It's part of your team. Still earthbound. And if there was one symbol that represented your truest heart's desire and the hope and the sign that says you have something to look forward to this year, what's that symbol going to be for you? And this is right now making a contract with your spiritual team to show you this, to help you stay aligned with this dream, what you really want in your heart of hearts. And no pressure to get this from it. But when you think of it, do you see your 2023 intention in this card? It's okay if you don't know it yet and you can have more than one intention, but maybe right now something's coming up and you're looking at this and it's like, yeah, I think this picture was painted of how I want to flow through this year. It's something you're calling in, your energetic intention of maybe it's, being present or abundant, fearless or courageous. Oh gosh. Sometimes you just say one as an example and you're like, oh, that hit me in the gut. Whew, and you know what yours is. And it wasn't what you expected. I love when that happens. It's boundaries. Is it action? Is it health and wellness? Is it body love? Is it spirit connection? connection, collaboration, peace, being in service, supporting others, saying yes to yourself. What is coming up? And if anyone came up with that, this doesn't have to be your 2023, but maybe you just figured it out. You may have just figured it out. I think I just figured mine out. Beautiful, Deanna. I love that. Krista, I'm too curious what yours is, if the same thing hit us or not. We can always talk later, but if you don't want to put it, it's okay. Right. So I don't know if we're all artists or not, or if we want to somehow make this into a card as a practice or a vision board or use these elements somewhere. But this is ooh. But this is sorry, I'm getting lost in the chat because it's like, oh my gosh, I just like it. This is I love hearing about these things. But if there was some way that you would want to put this into some sort of a living, breathing project because you just created your oracle card for your year. And I love the spirit was like, we've already been showing you these things. We've already been working on this. This isn't just brand new. Like this has been building just over the last, couple weeks. Is that fun? I don't know. I love mine. It's just in my mind, but I feel like I love it being in my mind. I hope that was fun. It was fun for me. Okay. All right. Now, really quick, what 3 things am I ready to call in? You might have gotten it from this card, or you might just intuit what that is for yourself. So you remember the 3 things you were going to release, 1 to 3 things. What are the 3 things that you want to call in as you're creating space through this release? And what energetic intention is most supportive to where I am and where I'm going? Again, that can be 1 to 3 things. And then who in spirit will I collaborate with this year? That is stepping up, wanting to hold these intentions with you. Just whatever this energetic intention or theme that you are setting for yourself for this year. I always recommend trying it on because you need to make sure that, hey, I want to live with this. And also to try it on is to say, yes, I am actually ready for movement in this area and also the lessons that come with this. Because I always give that example in like a broken record, about when I pick trust and patience and like, oh my gosh, how much freaking patience I got to work on that year. So you also want to be like, okay, a little strategic with your theme and what you're calling in and what you could see yourself working with for a year, which we just saw what a year, as fast as sometimes it feels like it's going, we just saw all the stuff that happens in a year. So what do you choose that you're like, I think I'm going to work, if I worked for this all year, like that would be awesome. I would be really excited to see what comes from this after a year of working on this theme. So try it on, feel free to change it. It's better that it's aligned and feels right and lights you up than you just having it to have it. And your theme can change every day. You don't have to have one for the year. I like to have one for the year. It's a very grounding practice for me. It helps me align, stay aligned, and remember to keep working on things. Like having connection written down all year on my desk kept reminding me to reach out to people and to say yes, even though my introvert hermit self likes to say no to things. And, and so it got me out of my shell a lot. And it was really so great for our friendships. And so it just always really helps me. So I always like to have one for my year, but then themes are going to come in and choose you anyway as well. Does anyone have any questions about what we've done or what you're going to be doing next? Which I would say somehow designing this oracle card, if you want a little craft project, somehow releasing out loud or energetically the three things, and then putting somewhere your intention. Sometimes I write them on a rock or just on a post-it or a piece of paper, but somewhere put your theme for the year, your energetic intention, and have it posted so that you can work with it. And also that's the sign to spirit to remind you of it. Let's see any questions. So we talked about the 2023, which breaks down to a 7 in numerology. So a 7-year that we all have kind of collectively available to us. And what I've been reading about with the 7-year is that 7 is like this big number of completion. And that we're going to be seeing this year some completion in things that we started maybe up to like 2 years ago or within the past 2 years of getting ball rolling, thinking toward something, working on something. And we're going to be seeing some of these things come to a close or to a completion point. And with the completion, that opens up space for something new to enter, which is kind of exciting. But also with completions, there can be grief and sadness, and even if it's something good, we can have those energies around it. So with the 7-year can be a little bit heavier, a little hermity, introspective, not as social of a year. So I'm like, oh my God, that was a lot trying to be social last year. So it's the year. But yeah, so a little less social and just really reflective. And so I've been reading all about this year. I've written 7, also really cool. And I posted today and I can send you can see what your year represents in numerology. So my year is a 3, for example, and you use your birth date to break that down. I posted it in Lightworker Rising, or maybe my Facebook page, but I'll post them there. Hopefully everybody's in Lightworker Rising, our free Facebook group, and I'll go post it there if I didn't right after this call. It's so good and juicy and will give you goosebumps for sure. But I have been reading about the 7 and the completion and the fullness of that. Like there's 7, major chakras. There's 7. You know what? I'm drawing a blank. We're going to get away from the 7. But ADHD. Okay, come back. What was next? The first card that I pulled for us to represent our collective year was completion, which is what I was reading the 7 represented. And full moon, which the first full moon of the year, full moons represent completion. I'm having some lighting issues. We just happen to be getting into the energy of. So it's just this, oh my gosh. Yeah. So great confirmation with this card, that we're going to see a lot of things coming to completion. Projects, I mean, who's really fast to start something and slow to complete it? Like, let's complete some things. Yes, this sounds good. I can use that energy. I'm very fast to start and slow to finish things. So completions in many, many different areas sound really good to me. And it was already what I was knowing was coming and intuiting for myself. After that, so I didn't really think about any of these. I just pulled them. And so now I'm thinking about them for the first time. Rain, water, fog, purification. All the emotions we were seeing with this Cancer full moon, we're starting the year with, all the emotions that we're feeling represented in this card. It's foggy, it's rainy, but there's also represented in this new life and new growth. And oh, there's my color. Well, of course, my color of the year represented that emerald green. So, with the completion is this cleansing and release and letting go. And then we got the wolf reminding us that maybe it's going to feel like a solo journey, but wolves are awesome in packs. So find your pack to be with throughout this year to support you. Hunting solo versus hunting together. Your one's has a little more ease in it, maybe a little more accountability and support. So I like that. Um, but also that there are going to be those times where you do feel introspective and alone with this journey. And then I did reflect on this for a bit because I pulled 3 cards from the Moonology and they were all full moon cards, again saying completion. Full moon Pisces, forgiveness, more water, no fishies. In Aquarius it says be real. I think with the be real, what's coming up is being in your integrity as you move through these completion points and doing them in the way that you're going to feel, proud of yourself, and being real in what needs to be vocalized or what doesn't. Just being true to yourself. Being true to yourself and being honest. And a lot of times us empaths are really concerned about being true to others first and what's in everyone's best interest. And sometimes we're not as authentic and real because of that. We're protecting everyone, thinking of everyone's feelings. And so I think there's something about putting ourselves a little higher on the priority chain this year. And then full moon in Cancer. Look at the little crab, of course. Let your fears dissolve. And I don't know, personally, I don't know that dissolve, but without fear, there'd be no opportunity to be courageous, right? So I think it's about being courageous. Okay, there's fears and I have an opportunity to be courageous and it's scary and it's uncomfortable and I'm shaking. But how can I show up in a way that honors my emotions, honors my feels? Then, there's more. We're in our 3rd deck, I think. Signs and reminders. So Spirit was like, here's the Oracle card that Spirit gave us. The lighting is doing. Just this beautiful, look at the signs of abundance, the flying, the transformation with all the butterflies, and look at all the butterflies transforming together. Okay, let's do that. The rainbow blessings, the feather, and this kind of very feminine looking womb space feather, kite, something, shape. Connected with the grounded, connected with the earth and the heavens, spirit. Is there a hawk at the bottom? There is. Right? Is it? It's hawkish. It's at least hawkish. Definitely hawkish. So what do we say about the full moon and forgiveness and understanding? And if that's about forgiving others, forgiving yourself. I'll have to post these pictures. Forgiving others, forgiving yourself. Maybe it's a little bit of both. but perfect divine timing. And oh my gosh. All right, I'll go through faster. I pulled basically 5,000 cards. Okay. There was romance and connection, coming together, honoring that, maybe healing or something new. I don't know. 2 years ago, I had like self pleasure was one of my intentions. So romance with yourself, also allowed. Say yes to opportunity. Say yes to yourself. Actually, I'm really feeling there's a yes or no question in you. Yes. And I always think this is the answer. You're like, was that a sign? Yes. Was that spirit? Yes. Am I supposed to do that really scary thing and be courageous, even though I have all this fear and doubt around it? But yes. Should I keep working with Sarah? Yes. Guardian angel, you're not alone. Spirit fox. This is the to have a wolf and a fox. So trust your talents in changing times. The card of every year comes up the mountain, being present right where you are, be on the journey. Um, you know, setting the goals, setting the intention, but it's not about. I think it's about embodying and being in it in this race. And do you really ever reach the peak anyway? So I just always think it's about the journey. When I see the mountain, it says stand your ground, be present where you are, release the old and rest, and winter, take care of your needs. These are very much aligned with the season, even though it says autumn in there. Oh, autumn, winter. How interesting. And we're just in that transition. Love the alignment when things are in order like that. Release the old and rest and take care of your needs. And then again, we have the wolf. So wolf showing up twice. Stay grounded and rooted. That's going to be, oh, there's my color. Stay grounded and rooted. Stay present in here. And I love there were several wings represented in this, and most of them didn't look like they were in this like major action, but not that they were completely at rest and wrapped around, but kind of this maybe not rushing, being strategic with your actions and pacing yourself instead of maybe so impulsive with them. Something like that. That's kind of coming up for me. I don't know for anyone else that is, but I'm saying that's like a big themes for my year. And then the last one is summer bee. And I feel like this is the hope and what to look forward to because it says summer, bask in joy and light. So we're going to be doing, all this introspective work. We're going to be feeling in all these completions and then doors closing. And then come summer, and we're going to see all this space that's being created for abundance, for the sweetness, for the honey, for all the growth and what's new. So I just think that's a sign of abundance and great things to come. So that was the bazillion card reading that I couldn't stop pulling. And when I was feeling into it for myself and wrote up my list of like the collective messages, and you might want to jot down do you think the collective messages are, or which ones really pertain to you. Connecting with spirit, embracing our gifts. I actually felt more outward sharing of gifts coming for myself and for others. Patience, courage, completion. I felt grieving and joy. I think that comes with the completion. Boundaries and integrity. And saying yes to the self. And saying yes in very aligned ways. So those are all. Whoa, Corey saw B today, January. This is a new therapist named Autumn. Another wolf. Yes. Right. I love all these synchronicities. So what I love is I feel like we went through our New Year's practices together. We felt into this collective reading of what we can, look forward to or know, just have an idea of maybe what we're meant to be working on a little bit this year. And there's more. This will get more personal for you too. And as I said, I'd like to work on goals with you, for example, and then we get real specific of where you're going. But if you have your energetic intention as your theme to hold, and you find ways to align with that in all the different areas of your life, you are going to be pleased with yourself at the end of the year. And you can't fuck up themes. You can't fuck up energetic intentions. You always get the opportunity to practice them, and it's always progress over perfection, right? And practice makes progress. So the more that we practice and live with these things, the more progress we're going to make in these areas. But we're supposed to make mistakes around our theme. We're supposed to stumble. We're supposed to have these opportunities to learn. So there's no pressure to like crush it. And I love the gentleness in that, of setting themes in this way, rather than if it's like this, like, if not only a goal, but if we say, oh, my New Year's resolution is like this task, like I'm going to do this 3 times a week or something. It's like, there's like a lot of ways to fuck that one up. So, and I don't know that I want my whole year being umbrellaed under like going to the gym. I'd rather it be umbrellaed under like being present, connecting, expanding, being grounded, protected, something like that. So that's what I've learned about themes and intentions. And so, yeah, if you want to share yours in the comments, we would all, if you already know, or the one that you're going to try on, we will celebrate with you and love that. Thanks for kicking it off, Jessica. I'm calling in connection, confidence, and fun. Yes. I think that fun builds connection and confidence too. They all go together really well. I'm excited. Learning compassion and the ability to listen. Beautiful. I love these. Well, before you go, I want to tell you, for those that don't know, we have an intuitive coaching circle starting Monday, and it's group coaching. So it's like low pressure. It's it's a smaller Zoom group, but I'm not going to just talk the whole time. You all get to talk and take up space. And I'm excited to use cards and messages from spirit, particularly specifically around you, as we help you hold space as you get clear about what it is you want, and then take aligned action toward that and fluff your wings and support you through that journey. It's 2 Mondays a month for 5 months. And I'm really looking forward to it. There is a daytime, one sec, love. There's a daytime that's going to be noon central on Mondays, and then a 6 p.m. call. There's 10 spots in each. The evening one, I think we are at 3 spots left. So just so you know, if that is something you're interested in, to talk to me right away, because I believe there's just 3 spots left in that. Some people I haven't got to ask which one they're in yet, that just joined within the last like 2 days. So I need to see if those are there. But I think some of them will be picking the daytime. So I think we have 3 spots in that, and probably 5 daytime. And yeah, it's just, I love, a lot of you've worked with me in kind of intuitive coaching circle environments or an intuitive business circle. It's just a really incredible way to be supported and have space held for you and receive guidance and help you tap into your own intuition and find the ways to go about moving forward that are really aligned to where you are and specific to you and how you naturally operate and work, because we're not one size fits all, and the formula that is going to be for Krista is going to be different than what is for Amy, because they are different and they have different pasts and lives and fears and dreams. So we get really specific with everyone offering that. Um, but it's a way to have a coach and be an intuitive coaching relationship that's not, any pressure of one-on-one. It's obviously much lower cost than one-on-one because of the community, but also the community is so juicy and good because we get to create this bond and friendship and learn and grow together and cheer each other on and be seen, not just like you're not just seen in your best highest light by me, but you have all of us believing in you. And of course, spirit is going to be there collaborating and believing in you too. And I just can't wait to see how far we go or how deep we go in this 5-month journey, which is a number for transformation and change. And I have some serious shit I want to work on right now. And I can't wait to work in this space. And I'm like, yes, I am showing up fully. I feel very cracked open and have a lot in mind for this year for myself. And that includes some big changes. And so I'm looking forward to be in a space and be supported and held and to hold you and use all my gifts and tools and knowledge and spirit connection to support you in getting clear and in taking aligned action moving forward. So that is $77 a month, or you can upgrade to $211 and have a one-on-one session each month. I just closed the early pricing, which was $55 a month and $189 for VIP. And I was thinking that I would just open it for 24 hours. You can't get it on my website. I would have to send you a specific link to sign up as that. And also why spots are available. There's not that many spots available. So if 8 of you signed up, then there's not a spot left. So if anybody wants that and wants to sign up in the next 24 hours, reach out and I'll send you a special code. You can go on my website and learn more about it. I can send you that link. So let me know if you want more info. And some of you on there are already said yes to this journey, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited. So yeah, and I'm not going to be announcing the early pricing outside of this. So that gives you a chance to get in if that feels good. Let me know if you have any questions, you want to talk about it. Please let me know if you want to share what your intention our theme for the year is or what you're releasing. I love witnessing that. And I would be so honored to just like sprinkle magic on it with you and hold that with you and witness you in it. Or if you want to tell me anything about your oracle card, or if maybe some things on the oracle card came up and you're like, what does this green mean? What does the spider mean that I keep seeing? I would love to help you figure that out too. Just because that's fun. That's my favorite thing. So let me know if I can help you with any of it, if you want to be witnessed in any of it. Or anything else? Any questions? Anyone would like to say something or take up space before we say goodbye in any way? And I see no one flagging me down to take up space or say anything. Well, how is everyone feeling? Were you able to move out of the discomfort we were feeling in the reflection and into maybe some hope or feeling a little more set up for success for this year? Yeah. Good. Me too. And let's celebrate that you did the work, that thing, that moving through the new year, the reflections, the intentions, the connecting with spirit around it. You did it. You're done. Now there's nothing to feel behind in, nothing to look at other people's posts and feel like, oh, I should have done that. You did it. You did it. You showed up. You did it. The animal guardians are sending vibes. Nice. Ready to take my life by the balls. All right. Love to you all. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful Rose. Well, thank you for being here. I'm so proud of everyone. Please give yourself a pat on the back and a self hug because you showed up. It's so easy not to. There's always a million excuses, or oh, I'll just catch the replay, or prioritize something else. But you prioritized yourself being here tonight, and you went deep. You were honest. You allowed yourself to dream. You showed up open and curious. You were and are still being held by spirit. They are all around you. They're really proud of you right now. And you might feel some little angel kisses on your aura. You might feel a hand on your shoulder or an energy very close by because your team is with you. And they will be with you and are honored that you invited them to connect and to collaborate with you in this new year. With that, let's release the energy of this space. Call back in our own energy from all directions and sources. Feet on the ground, grounded in here. Centering in that heart space as you draw your shoulders back. Let your gaze go up to feel that warmth. Putting you in the uplifted energy of gratitude. Feeling the lightness and the spiritual protection all around you. As we thank each other, we thank our beautiful teams above. And with a hand on our heart, we thank ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you for being here, and reach out if there's anything I can support you with. Love you all very much.